Welcome to the Countdown to Face-Off presented by Castor. Maybe the surprise of the NLL season so far, the 5-2 Saskatchewan Rush against the San Diego Seals, who already backed up in what might be a must-win situation. Hi everybody, welcome you inside the building at Pechanga Arena. He is the former NLL player Nick Ocello. I'm Cooper Perkins. Haley Elwood will join us from the floor shortly. Nick, I teased it just a moment ago. For San Diego, it is not hyperbolic to say, yeah, they're only 7 games in, but this one is as close to a must-win as you'll have.
Yeah, they're sliding. They really need to bounce back tonight.
Ryan Benesh, 281 career games as he passes Brody Merrill. The Seals great with his number hanging from the rafters just above Benesh's head tonight. Congratulations to Ryan, who also just turned 40 this week, the 3rd oldest player in the National Lacrosse League. A ver, familia, bienvenidos a la arena de Pechanga in California del Sur. Es una celebración de la herencia mexicana. It is Mexican Heritage Night as the Seals wear their yellows and the Rush wear their whites with green trim. It is going to be a fun face-off matchup, Nick Ocello. We just saw the first one. No Jake Naso for Saskatchewan. Trevor Baptiste still on the shelf for San Diego. Jimmy Quinlan told us this week it's going to be like the Calgary Stampede. Rams out there butting heads all night.
Absolutely love it. If you like good technical clamp matchups, turn the TV off and expect this early offense from both teams, especially coming out of transition and off the faceoffs. I think that's going to be an emphasis as both offenses have struggled. Look for them to manufacture goals.
San Diego told you a little bit about their strategy with their opening lineup. They went 3 in the defensive end, 1 in the offensive end. Patrick Merrill told us this week it's going to be a balance and a very fine line between taking away their opportunities and manufacturing our own.
And great pressure from Saskatchewan early here in the game.
Bobby Kidd III drops it off to Robert Church. Finally healthy. Told you about his 5-goal game last week against Albany. That's great news for that guy, Zach Manns. He's been a scoring machine, but doesn't want to have to do everything every night. Austin Shanks, new addition in the offseason. Big piece of what they've done as Church circles it back around to the far side. Walter screaming in as it misses wide of the net. And it is corralled there by Robbie Turpin for San Diego.
Boy, both teams have their foot on the gas pushing transition, and I think the addition of Trey LeClaire is going to allow San Diego to play a little bit more tentative on faceoffs, taking away Sask's opportunities while pushing it out of their own defensive end.
Rob Hellier, team's leader in points. Coming off a quiet night against Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Here is Benesh down low to Wesley Berg. His turnaround misses wide. Thomas Kysak's the man between the pipes for Saskatchewan. Young fire plug of a kid, just 20 years old, the youngest player on Saskatchewan's roster. Really good matchup of young goaltenders, Nick. Chris Origlieri, still the youngest player on San Diego's team against Kysak on the other side. Here's Mike Triolo as Triolo goes far side low, and Saskatchewan's up 1-0.
Another point of emphasis from head coach Jimmy Quinlan was kind of those isolation opportunities for the Rush's offense. And I'll tell you what, I would not want to be playing off or defense against this, a large human being who has surprisingly shifty feet, and I think he uses his size in such a great way around the net, because when he extends his arm, the angle of the release is so difficult to stop. Even though he's on the near side, he just uses the length of his arms to get it all the way to the far side. Very well done from Triolo right there.
Tallest guy in the league, 33-year-old journeyman in his 4th season, has bounced around and finally found a home in his 2nd year in Saskatchewan. Had a career-high 18 goals last year. Scored just 11 times the first 2 seasons. That is his 8th of the season. And the Rush are off to an excellent start 2.5 minutes into this game. For San Diego, their offense has been non-existent in the first half of the game, so they're going to lean on the defense early. That was not the start they had envisioned, as now the Rush attacking once again, and Manns has it kicked away by Origlieri. What a start to the season for Zach Manns. We'll tell you more about that as Zach Currier 2-on-1 with Danny Logan as he rips one wide.
Even though that shot didn't go in, that is a great duo coming up the floor. Zach Currier is so crafty, pushes it to Danny Logan, and then immediately sets the pick so that Logan had a 1-on-none. Hopefully, if you're a Rush fan, you don't see too many more of those opportunities.
Well, Saskatchewan, their scratches tonight, Keegan Bell, Brock Haley. And a penalty away from the ball is going to send us to our first power play of the night. It will belong to San Diego. You know, Haley's a funny one, Nick, because they've intended to scratch him a couple of times, and then he keeps scoring goals. So Jimmy Quinlan's had his hand forced. Tonight, though, they are rotating in fresh bodies. 8 different starting lineup for Saskatchewan in 8 games.
And I think this is going to be a good litmus test for San Diego's offense, particularly as we go back and just check out why they're going to be on the power play originally. Yeah, just hold it, hold the stick, maybe a little bit of a sell. But if you're San Diego, you want to see a number of shots from almost every single player out there today, not so much passing. Hey, if you got an open shot, take it.
San Diego 5th in the league in power play, but that really doesn't tell you the whole story this season. Went 2 for 3 last week against Las Vegas after going 32% their previous 4 games. They'll have a reset of the shot clock after the save by Kazik, who is now facing his first real test of the night. His team playing down a man. McIntosh up to Wesley Berg, now to Benesh. Hellier's the point man. Here he is. Hellier with a low rocket as that one kicks around, and the penalty is going to wipe out the power play. Matt Hossack went down hard, and Hellier's headed to the box.
Yeah, and that one's tough as you go to do a stick check. Sometimes the stick can wind up between the legs.
San Diego, minor penalty, 2 minutes stripping.
No ill intent from Hellier there, just kind of a misfortune for his stick to wind up in the legs of Hossack. As we go back to the replay right here, that's just tale as old as time. When you're throwing those stick checks, you want to make sure that if you miss, you're not putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Hellier exemplifying just that.
4-on-4 for 1 minute and 15 seconds. Saskatchewan would theoretically have a power play if that time expires without a goal scored either way. Here's Triolo again with a missile near side. Second for big Mike Triolo.
Boy, hot start for the mammoth of a man, Triolo. And this shot is just a thing of beauty. What I was really impressed with the Rush's offense right here was their ability to find space. They kind of had an effective pick that you see right there, which drew the top defender over. And Triolo just does a beautiful low to high from the floor to the penthouse. Very difficult shot to stop. We talk about his size around the crease, but it also makes his shot a little bit more deceptive. Watch out.
Now Saskatchewan out to a 2-0 start. Neither penalty release, so we're still playing 4-on-4. As here comes Mans racing his way into the offensive zone. Saskatchewan 5-2 this year. 3rd in the league right now and contending to not just make the playoffs, but really make some noise. Shot clock running out here as Triolo might just have to ISO and let one go again. And he has a first quarter hat trick. Holy moly, Mike Triolo.
I am no math major, but is 3 for 3, 100% shooting a good start to the game? Many people are saying yes. And it's the variety. We saw him around the crease. We saw a low to high. And with the shot clock winding down, again, we'll go back to the size because San Diego's defense is in pretty good position right here. But look at how he just has the ability to shoot over Zach Currier. And boy, is his stick dialed in. My goodness, he is just painting these corners. What a start for the Rush.
3 goals for Mike Triolo as we haven't even hit our first commercial break of the night as they take a second look at the overhead to make sure all is good and no one wants to challenge. 10:25 remaining in the first, and Saskatchewan blazing out of the gates. Kind of a full reverse to what San Diego did against Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, where they held the Desert Dogs scoreless for about 18 minutes, led 1-0 after 1, and then really let things slip away, giving up 5 of the final 7 to end the first half and go to the break down 5-3. As Saskatchewan is going to throw it away, it's an over and back. And the Seals will get an opportunity to settle into their offense. Still 57 seconds on the penalty against Rob Hellier, so we're still going 4-on-4, even after 2 goals for Triolo.
Big priority for head coach Patrick Merrill is effective picks and hard off-ball movement.
Trey Leclerc back in the lineup for the first time since the opener defense, December 1st, I should say, as he got it into Wesley Berg. And now Matt Hossack in his second stint with the Rush brings it up the floor. Now here comes Levi Anderson out of the penalty box. It'll be a power play for 35 seconds for the Rush. They have gotten off to a picture-perfect start as they try and win their 6th out of 8 and 9 out of 12 dating back to last season. Up to Church, spacing it out, directing traffic. Keenan flips it to Mans, who gets his first of the night. Piling on, the Saskatchewan Rush have come bursting through the doors at Pechanga Arena.
Boy, what a picture-perfect start, and we're already starting to see the variety of shots. This is the second or third time that I've said it. It was all Triolo, and now it's that's the first time Origlieri's seen a shot from the left-hand side. And again, what's impressed me, as we see Origlieri head to the bench, what's impressed me is the Rush's ability to shoot with traffic in front. We saw Triolo do it over Courier, and then we just saw Mans do it around his defender.
So it's Mike Poulin now, the 38-year-old who won a title with Georgia in 2017. See if they're just giving Origlieri a break or will stick with Poulin for the long haul. I mean, you can't have much rougher of a start than Origlieri, as he's given up 4 goals on 5 shots. Now Saskatchewan wins the face-off. Again, no Jake Naso tonight, but it hasn't mattered much. And bouncing into the cup and getting the first shot on net. Clark Walter, or rather Bobby Kidd, turned away by Mike Poulin.
And what's impressed me about Messenger is if he's going against a guy like Trevor Baptiste, he's not going to win the clamp. But when it's kind of those 50-50, let's send an athlete out there, he has a sneaky good clamp.
Jackson's shot spins well wide of the cage and is going to carry all the way back to the center line, which will take us to our first break of the evening. Saskatchewan absolutely exploding. They're up 4-0 as Chris Origlieri shakes his head in frustration. All Rush in San Diego.